as the red-hatted princes of the church prepare to cast the first of their secret ballots in front of Michelangelo's chilling fresco of the Last Judgment. There is a growing buzz in Rome that the man chosen to be pope might just hail from the other side of the Atlantic. Likely papabili or papal candidates include Cardinal Sean Patrick O'Malley, the Archbishop of Boston, who has been praised for dealing with the fallout from pedophile sex abuse scandals, Cardinal Timothy Dolan, the charismatic 63-year-old Archbishop of New York, and Marc Ouellet, a conservative French-Canadian who is head of the Congregation for Bishops. When Corriere della Sera, the Italian daily, asked 8 of its Vatican analysts to nominate their top 3 favorites for Pope at the weekend, 68-year-old Cardinal O'Malley was by far the most popular choice, followed by Odilo Pedro Squer of Brazil and Angelo Scola of Italy. The 11 American cardinals taking part in the conclave are the second biggest grouping by nationality after the Italians, who account for 28 of the 115 cardinal electors. The traditional view within the Vatican has always been that it would be wrong, even dangerous, to have a pope who comes from the United States because it already wields quite enough temporal power around the globe. The last thing the Church wants, as it engages in complex international issues such as the spread of Muslim extremism and the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, is the perception that it is biased towards Washington. But with U.S. hegemony diminishing, and amid one of the most open papal races for decades, that orthodoxy could just be turned on its head. Since arriving in Rome to attend last week's pre-conclave discussions, the Americans have impressed with their informal ways, efforts at transparency and sense of humor, all of which contrasts with the stuffiness and reserve associated with the Church in Rome. They were the only group of cardinals to organize daily press briefings, until the initiative was crushed, apparently under intense pressure from traditionalists within the Vatican, who were aghast at the prospect of such openness. The gagging of the Americans could in fact work in their favor, making them more attractive to cardinals from Europe, Asia, Latin America and Africa who were frustrated by Benedict XVI's inability to clean up the Curia, the Church's secretive governing body, and make it more accountable. When Cardinal Dolan held a mass at a parish church in Rome on Sunday, he received an almost rock-star welcome, cracking jokes and establishing an easy rapport in a way that eludes the majority of his brother cardinals. On seeing the plate piled high with wine and food, he joked to the congregation at Our Lady of Guadalupe, his titular church in Rome, that he might take a bag of sweets with him into the conclave, where I hear the food is not so great. Maybe I'll be able to sneak a sweet every now and then. However, he has never served in a Vatican office and he has been heavily criticized by the victims of pedophile priests for covering up cases. He was named as one of a dirty dozen of potential papal candidates by the US-based Survivors Network of those abused by priests last week. However attractive the idea of an American pope might seem to Catholics who regard the Holy See as out of touch, unaccountable and mired in Byzantine intrigue, Vatican analysts warn that in reality their chances are probably slim. "I think they are all long shots," said John Allen, the author of Conclave, a book about the papal electoral process, and the Vatican correspondent for the US-based National Catholic Reporter. The big problem that O'Malley has is that governance is not seen as his strong suit. He is an extremely kind man but he sometimes has difficulty making tough decisions. Dolan's problems are that he's a complete Vatican outsider, he doesn't really have the language skills required and he's just too American, he's too brash, too swashbuckling. If none of the Americans prove palatable to their fellow cardinals, then support could swing behind Cardinal Ouellet of Quebec, who ticks many of the boxes required of a future pope. Although he once said that being pontiff would be a nightmare, the 68-year-old is intimate with the workings of the Holy See, is regarded as a conservative in the mold of Benedict XVI and worked for years in Latin America, home to the world's largest Catholic population.